She had a blossoming career.
She was up for that big promotion.
She was on the fast track in the company.
With a love life to match.
The question of marriage had come up.
She kept striving and setting goals.
Until her life is cut short by a vicious attack.
Coworkers were absolutely shocked.
They heard the screams.
She's on the floor, bleeding out.
Detectives struggled to identify a suspect.
She was loved dearly.
She had a great relationship with people.
Who could have committed such a horrific crime?
But detectives will soon discover that this kind of evil lurks just beneath the surface.
They think, well, yeah, he's a real nice guy.
I did good things. I did good things for people. I helped you.
Something was wrong. I felt it in my core.
He had created this other side of him.
This guy's really off his rocker.
Why'd you kill him?
June 26, 2008. It's a busy Thursday lunch hour in Doraville, Georgia, a cosmopolitan suburb on Atlanta's sprawling perimeter.
Doraville is an older suburb outside of Atlanta, and it's a flourishing immigrant community.
On any given afternoon, you'll find people convening for lunch at their favorite ethnic restaurant.
But while most of their colleagues are out grabbing a quick bite, several employees at one local company have gathered inside their conference room.
They were having a lunch meeting at the office for a few of the employees.
It was a food processing lab that manufactured all types of additives for different types of food.
But they're only a few slides into the PowerPoint presentation when a piercing scream rings out.
Everyone takes off to see what's going on.
The scream came from Carrie Harris's office.
Carrie was the company's quality control manager, and she was one of the few people in the building at the time.
It wasn't unusual to see Carrie working through her lunch.
But no one in the office ever expected to see Carrie like this.
Oh my God!
Originally from Memphis, 31-year-old Carrie was the youngest of 6.
We all loved her because she was everyone's best friend. She was one of those individuals from a very early age that you knew was destined to do some amazing things with herself.
She always wanted to achieve more, and so she just kept striving and setting goals and expectations for herself, and she wasn't going to stop until she achieved them.
She graduated in the top percentage of her class, and she's pursued by many colleges all over the nation.
Carrie chose Alabama A&M, where she majored in food science.
Before she even went to college, knew that that's something that she wanted to do.
Carrie was always one of those people who was always intrigued by figuring out how things worked.
Carrie was a very picky eater. Once she read a package and realized what was in the package, she would not eat it. Because a lot of the stuff that she saw, she was like, who eats this?
Before organic was a thing, Carrie was organic.
And I think that drew her into the world of working as a food scientist.
After college, Carrie had her pick of jobs.
A lot of companies was getting in touch with her.
She would go on to land her dream job as a quality control specialist for a big agribusiness firm in Atlanta, Georgia.
But while the company was only a small part of a large multinational corporation, the division where she worked was more like a second family.
Everyone welcomed her to the company.
There was even a coworker who baked a cake welcoming Carrie to the office.
Wow, that's so nice of you.
I just wanted you to feel at home.
Her work ethic also quickly earned her respect around the office.
Carrie was well loved by her colleagues.
Thank you, Craig.
She was truly dedicated to her work.
She loved doing what she did.
Everyone could see that she was on the fast track in the company.
But Carrie's professional life wasn't the only thing taking off. She had also found love with a man named Max McCullough.
He was actually a person that she knew from college. They just end up, through other mutual friends, reconnecting in Atlanta. She felt like it was a good match. And I thought that he was a good person for her.
But which would make it to the next level first? Carrie's career or her relationship with Max?
The question of marriage and is that something you're interested in had come up.
But her main focus was on pursuing her master's.
Her plan was to get a master's while she was still working.
After she completed her master's degree, she was up for that big promotion.
She was about ready to take over North America for her company, for the quality control.
So she would be traveling a lot. We're talking US, Canada, and Mexico.
She was living her dream.
But now that dream has become a nightmare.
Carrie's coworkers were absolutely shocked to find her on the floor, bleeding out with a knife in her neck.
Carrie's horrified coworkers quickly call 911 to get help.
Police and EMTs are on the scene in minutes, but it's too late.
There was no reviving Carrie.
But now it's up to homicide detectives to uncover who was behind the deadly attack that cost Carrie her life.
As you can imagine, people are hysterical, they're shocked.
No one had actually seen what happened.
None of Carrie's coworkers can describe the appearance of the suspect.
But what Carrie's coworkers do tell detectives raises an immediate red flag.
Well, there's been some strange things going on lately.
Carrie started noticing weird things were happening.
She went to her office and noticed that many things had been moved around.
She had that feeling on the side of your neck that like somebody's watching you.
Carrie was starting to think that she might have a stalker.
31-year-old Carrie Harris was on the verge of having it all.
Carrie had a lot of major things that were going on in her life. She had just finished off her master's degree. At work, she was up for a promotion because of the degree that she had finished off, and she was in a very serious relationship.
Things were going just as Carrie had planned.
But now, Carrie's coworkers have just made a horrifying discovery.
There were employees down the hall in a lunch meeting and suddenly heard blood-curdling screams.
They find Carrie's body on the floor, sprawled out with a knife in her neck.
Her coworkers immediately called 911, but when the EMTs arrived, they pronounced Carrie dead on the scene.
DeKalb County detectives arrived soon after responders to begin cataloging the evidence.
When the investigators enter Carrie's office, there are a couple of things that they noticed. First of all, of course, they noticed the knife.
The knife was like a butcher knife from a kitchen. The knife was stuck in her neck very forcefully.
There doesn't seem to be any defensive wounds on her arms or her hands.
It was sudden. She didn't see it coming.
Detectives believe she may have been sending a fax.
Her back was turned towards the door when someone came in and stabbed her.
Detectives first consider the possibility that Carrie's killer could have wandered in off the street.
Being lunchtime, there weren't many employees at the office.
Carrie's office was near the front door.
But the vicious wound to Carrie's neck suggests her murder was personal.
Once that artery snapped in your neck, it's a wrap. You're gonna bleed to death. That artery goes straight to your heart. So if you stab somebody there, you meant to stab them.
Who would hold such a grudge against someone like Carrie?
Detectives hope the murder weapon can give them a clue.
You're always going to check weapons for fingerprints, for DNA.
Leaving the CSI to collect the evidence, they turn to Carrie's coworkers.
Unfortunately, most of Carrie's coworkers had been out to lunch at the time the murder occurred.
A couple of colleagues were in a meeting.
They heard the screams.
But the people that were at the office during the attack didn't see the assailant.
None of them could imagine who would have wanted to hurt Carrie either.
She was well respected by her colleagues and was loved dearly.
My sister was always that person that was willing to give up herself to help others.
Carrie had a type of personality that would draw you into her. She would stimulate you through conversation.
However, Coworkers also tell detectives she had seemed on edge lately.
What do you mean by on edge?
Well, there's been some strange things going on lately.
About a week before Carrie's murder, she went to her office and noticed that many things had been moved around.
That's so weird.
Carrie first thought it was the cleaning crew, but they hadn't even been in the night before to clean.
That alone wasn't too worrying. But according to her coworkers, more odd things started happening.
On her way home one night, she noticed that a car appeared to be following her. It wasn't until she decided to pull into a local police station that the car behind her decides to drive away.
The individual that was following her drove on and sped past, so she didn't get a good description.
Coworkers tell detectives that the incident had left Carrie rattled.
She actually started taking different routes home than her normal way that she would go.
Then, a few days later, another strange incident occurred.
When she was trying to leave work, her car wouldn't start.
What now?
Fortunately, one of her coworkers was around.
Looks like a cable came loose. That's all.
Oh.
She had a new battery that she had just recently had put in the car.
All right, try it now.
Oh, okay.
This was a pretty easy fix, but Carrie just couldn't shake the suspicion that someone had done this on purpose.
She started to wonder, did she maybe have a stalker?
Detectives thought if they could find Carrie's stalker, they probably were going to find who killed her.
But detectives are no closer to identifying them.
And this promotion, anyone have a problem with that?
Well, things had gotten a little awkward between Carrie and Glenn, her supervisor.
She was actually going to be in a position that was over her boss that she had already.
However, according to coworkers, her boss couldn't have done it.
Her boss at the time was in Kansas City doing this cross-company meetings where they were talking about products and product development.
However, one coworker says her boss wasn't the only one who took issue with her upcoming promotion.
Detectives learned that Carrie's boyfriend, Max, was not at all happy about an upcoming promotion that would send her around the world.
They had been getting pretty serious, and Max had been talking about the two of them settling down together.
A promotion would send her away from him.
Do you think this is what made Max angry?
Well, I don't know that I'd go that far.
Well, we appreciate your time.
Although now detectives wonder just how far he might have gone. After seeing a photo of Max and Carrie on her desk, detectives pull the building's security footage.
There's cameras all over the place.
But while there's no camera covering the door to Carrie's office, there is one at the entrance to her building.
Surveillance footage does show a male figure fleeing from the building immediately after the attack.
Since he's running out the door, the footage does not show a clear view of the man's face.
They noticed he did look pretty similar to Carrie's boyfriend, enough so that they kind of wondered maybe that was Max.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are over 400 workplace homicides each year nationwide. Of these, 25% are committed by a customer or coworker, while a victim's relative or domestic partner is responsible for 7%. Security cameras at Carrie Harris's workplace have captured what detectives believe to be her killer fleeing the scene after the murder.
The man seen in the video shared a similar build to Carrie's boyfriend, Max.
Later that afternoon, detectives bring Carrie's boyfriend in for a round of questioning.
I can't believe she's gone.
He appeared extremely distraught about her death.
We were talking about getting married.
She had just come back, a few weeks before that, from a trip to San Diego with him, and she had definitely felt that was the direction that things were going.
However, as Carrie's coworkers suggested, the couple's relationship wasn't perfect.
Max admits to investigators that he wasn't thrilled about her promotion.
He said that even though he didn't like it, he had accepted it because he knew that it was good for her career.
Have you ever thought about it?
Not really. You ever follow her? Sneak into her office? Wait, what do you mean?
When detectives confront him about the man in the security footage, Max swears it isn't him.
Is that you?
He was at work in downtown Atlanta during the time of the murder.
That's not me.
Did you take a lunch break or something?
Yeah. I left at like noon. I was back in like 20 minutes.
With Atlanta's crazy traffic, that would have meant there's no time for him to get to Doraville in time to commit the murder.
What's more, Max suggests that there's someone else detectives should look into.
He ends up telling detectives that Carrie would sometimes mention a guy at work acting pretty strange.
Okay, so what do you mean by strange? I don't know. She just said that something wasn't right about him.
This guy have a name?
I don't know. She just called him the Cake Man.
Detectives aren't entirely sure what to make of Max's story.
A nickname like Cake Man, it actually sounds pretty made up.
However, before looking into Max's claims and his alibi, detectives try to make contact with Carrie's family. Unable to get a hold of Carrie's mother, detectives leave a vague but troubling message.
My mom calls me up, freaking out. Says, hey, you know, on the answer machine, detective from DeKalb County is calling left a message on there for us to call back. Something's happened. She's been in an accident.
Worried about his sister, Jason Harris makes the call.
Homicide Detective Brian.
Excuse me?
The guy told me it's just some homicide detective. And the moment he said that, I knew. And I was like, what? And he says, yeah. Today, your sister Carrie was attacked at work.
Oh my God.
After that, it just... I don't remember the next minutes that happened after that, or what I said or what I did.
Carrie's brother eventually recovers his composure.
I said it was Craig. And he paused for a minute.
This is the first time detectives are hearing the name Craig.
Craig? Craig who?
I don't know his last name.
She just called him Cake Man. Carrie's boyfriend hadn't known Craig's name, but her brother did.
She had told me about the cakes and the pies and that stuff.
That's not all Carrie had told her brother about Craig, though.
She thought he was sweet at first.
He was the nice guy that cared. He'd bring you soup if you were not feeling well. And just does like nice things like that for you.
He was good at his work. He got along with coworkers.
He would always be neatly dressed. He was always well-groomed. In fact, several of them had tried to set Craig up with friends of theirs, and a few of them had actually tried to set Craig up with Carrie.
Despite that, Carrie had made it clear to her coworkers that she wasn't interested.
She was dating someone.
But apparently, the message never got back to Craig.
We tried to ask her out to lunch or something, and she declined. She said when it comes to work as a professional environment, she was never rude about it anyway.
According to Carrie's brother, Craig still didn't get the message.
Craig's advances toward Carrie never stopped. It wasn't one of those things where every single day he was at her office or sending her flowers, but there was definite spurts in which that happened.
At one point in time, he gave her a Palm Pilot. She asked him to stop. She was very clear with Craig that she was not interested in having a relationship with him.
Jason says that according to his sister, the gifts did stop, but not Craig's inappropriate behavior.
He would creep up to her door where you have that feeling in the side of your neck that like somebody's watching you, and she'd look up and she would see him there.
So when strange things started happening to Carrie at work, Jason says she suspected Craig.
Stuff being moved around her office, her being followed.
It freaked her out.
And then there was the day her car wouldn't start.
Magically, Craig was there.
She couldn't help but wonder if he had something to do with it being disconnected in the first place.
It seems like he was setting himself up to be a hero.
Jason says Carrie had been reluctant to tell her coworkers about Craig's behavior.
She had made it clear that she wasn't interested in dating him. And even then, they were still kind of semi-encouraging. Well, you know, she don't want to. He's a nice guy.
It was as if nobody had seen the darker side of Craig, but Carrie did.
And soon after the incident with her car, Carrie acted on her suspicions.
She actually filed a complaint with Human Resources.
The Human Resources Department had taken her seriously.
They gave Craig the directive, like, unless there's something happening in your building or you directly need to come over and deliver something to Carrie, you don't need to be in this building.
She didn't feel like she was in any imminent danger.
But had Carrie actually been in far greater danger than anyone imagined?
I felt it in my core. Craig was the person who had done it.
Detectives investigating the murder of Carrie Harris have just learned that shortly before her death, the 31-year-old quality control manager filed a complaint with Human Resources about her coworker, Craig Armstead.
She went to HR about it and told him, that this made her feel uncomfortable.
Carrie Harris did everything that she could the right way.
When detectives meet with the company's human resource manager the next morning, she confirms that Carrie had filed the complaint.
They asked him not to have direct contact with Carrie, and if he needed to do so, to only email her.
These workplaces, they're pretty strict on sexual harassment, so I think she felt all right.
However, Human Resources reveals that Carrie had recently filed a new complaint.
The day before she was murdered at work, she found a camcorder in the women's restroom.
She noticed a dim red light shining from inside a basket filled with feminine products on the vanity.
She opened it up and saw the camera. It was planned in a way to where someone was actively watching women go to the restroom.
It was actually discovered because the battery failed in the camera, which caused a red light to flash.
But while Carrie found the camera the day before she died, she didn't file the complaint until the morning of her murder.
She found it right before 5 p.m., and at that point, it was just too late to contact Human Resources.
The next morning, Carrie heads to HR to make a formal complaint. She takes the pouch with the camera that she found and submitted everything.
Less than an hour later, Carrie was dead.
Investigators think this is far from a coincidence.
According to Carrie's initial HR complaint, Craig had been sneaking around and spying on her.
But does that mean he was the one who planted the camera?
Who had access to that bathroom? You got the office cleaning guys that come in at night. You don't know who put that camera in there.
Suspecting it's most likely Craig, detectives decide to pull his criminal record.
They wondered if he had had any troubling charges in the past.
He actually had committed other crimes where he was a peeping Tom.
They also learned that Craig had killed before.
The incident happened 20 years ago in New Jersey.
The young woman that he was dating at the time broke up with him.
Craig was not very happy about that.
He followed her home from work, beat her to death with a hammer, and then buried her body in a shallow grave.
Despite the brutality of the crime, the defense was able to secure a deal, and Craig pled guilty to manslaughter.
He received a 10-year sentence, but only served 5 years.
He was young, 16 or 17, and they don't like giving teenagers life.
In addition to that, there was concern at the time of Craig's mental health state. It is our belief that those two factors contributed to Craig receiving a reduced sentence in that case.
After Craig's release, he'd relocated to Atlanta.
People are wondering, why is this killer walking around and getting jobs? When you run a criminal history, an employee only can get so much, especially if that record been expunged.
He was a juvenile when he committed the crime, so it did not follow him. He was able to start a brand new life.
one where no one suspected he was a killer.
Craig was actually liked by his colleagues and his coworkers, seen as good at his job, and seen as a kind, intelligent individual.
But now detectives are wondering, had this seemingly kind and intelligent individual killed again?
He becomes the prime suspect.
After uncovering Craig's criminal record, detectives head back to the food processing company, only to discover that Craig hadn't come into work that morning.
The police put out what is called a bolo, be on the lookout, for Craig Armstead's car.
They also request additional surveillance footage, this time focusing on Carrie and Craig's movements in the hours before the murder.
One of the first things they were able to see was Carrie actually carrying a bag with the camera in it a little after 9 o'clock. And she was heading from her building over to the Human Resources Department.
The HR was in the same building that Craig's in.
Craig even appears in the security footage soon after Carrie enters the building.
The video of the facility, it showed him walking past her and seeing her with the bag.
This leads investigators to believe that this is the moment that Craig realized that his camera had been discovered.
And the surveillance footage leaves little doubt about what he did in response.
It's just unbelievable.
A few minutes after Carrie walked back over to the building, Craig followed.
The cameras actually picked up Craig entering the break room.
Moments later, he's walking out with a knife in his hand.
Detectives investigating the murder of Carrie Harris have just uncovered surveillance footage that shows the minutes leading up to her brutal stabbing.
Craig is seen walking into the break room. A few moments later, he's seen walking out with a knife in his hand.
The knife that you see in the video is similar to the knife that was ultimately used to kill Carrie.
Combined with Carrie's complaints to Human Resources about Craig's harassment, there was more than enough evidence to justify an arrest warrant.
The authorities won't have to look very far for him either. At around the same time, patrol officers pull over Craig's car less than a mile from the office.
The police recognized they had a bolo for this vehicle.
This guy jumps out and sits down on a curb and starts, it's the only one y'all looking for.
Craig immediately confessed to having killed someone. He did not name Carrie, but said that he had killed someone.
That's his mental state at the time. He was out of it.
Once at the station, detectives take their time to gain the suspect's trust.
They don't have to talk to you. So when he came to the interview room, and I wanted to make him as comfortable as possible.
I'm scared. Don't be scared of him. What are you scared of? You scared somebody's gonna hurt you? No. What are you scared of? I'm scared if I hurt somebody.
Craig seemed to be really confused about who he hurt.
Do you know this person? My boss. Your boss?
He tells detectives that he killed a man named Bill, who was his boss.
He was all over the place. He thought he stabbed the manager, Bill. Come find out that Bill wasn't even there. The guy called in sick.
Detectives keep pressing, hoping Craig will eventually confess to Carrie's murder.
Have you killed anybody before? I was in New Jersey. In New Jersey? Yeah.
Detectives already knew about the previous manslaughter charge in New Jersey, but they were pretty surprised when he walked in and just so readily admitted to everything.
You remember who it was that you killed? Maybe it was my ex-girlfriend. Is your ex-girlfriend in Jersey? Yeah. She deserved that.
I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist, but I interviewed thousands of people, and this guy got some mental issues going on big time.
Was that the first time you had the urge to kill somebody? I don't think so.
Craig tells detectives he's tried everything to control his violent urges.
I prayed and I did good things. I would do good things for people. I would bake cakes. I would bake cakes. I would bake cakes for people. And I would bring it to them. I'd do it for free. I just bake cakes for free. And it made me feel good.
According to Craig, there was just one thing that kept the lid on his violent tendencies.
He tells investigators how the only thing that really worked was being a peeping Tom.
Craig said he knew it was wrong, but he had to stop himself from hurting people.
I want this camera because it's the only thing that makes me not want to hurt anybody. And I said, I'll do this. I won't hurt anybody. I won't hurt anybody, but I'll do this. This is not so bad. Okay. What do you do with the camera? I put it in the ladies' room.
The women in the office kept the basket in the bathroom.
They would bring tampons and pads, and they would keep them in the restroom, which is where the pervert put his camera, his pouch. And he kind of cut a hole in the bag so that the lens could pick up what was going on.
And then I would come back in the evening and I would get it. And then I would take it home. And I would look at it. Okay. But still photo, video? The video. The video. And that helped.
But according to Craig, that wasn't enough to stop him from killing Bill.
He was mean. He was so mean. He was so mean.
Craig claimed that Bill constantly teased him about a coworker.
He kept making comments about me and this woman on my job. That me and her were together and we weren't together.
Detectives ask Craig the woman's name, but they already know the answer.
That's the girl that he was talking about.
At that point, the detectives figured it was time to confront Craig with the truth.
Carrie's the one that's hurt. Not Bill, it's Carrie. Yeah. Carrie's dead, but oh my God.
Once detectives informed Craig that Carrie was dead, he lost it completely.
What did he do to Carrie? Carrie piss you off?
Despite the apparent breakdown, Craig refuses to fully acknowledge what he'd done.
Come on, Craig, tell me what happened to Carrie, man. This is not a dream, this is a dream. No, it's not a dream. Craig is not a dream. I want you to tell me the truth. I want you to tell me why did she die? Why did you kill her?
What Craig says next introduces a strange new twist to the story.
He began talking about someone made me do it.
Well, tell me about it. What's his name?
Craig says that he's another part of it.
I call him Frank.
Stalkers end up killing because they don't seem too much, now they want to touch. I think he had to be pushed to kill. You had to really piss him off to kill. But he's gonna stalk you forever. You know, he's the guy that peek into your apartment and found out, hey, I gotta go inside while she's sleeping and touch her. When you hear the word creep, and you try not to judge somebody, but he put the C in creep.
Questioned by detectives, Craig Armstead has more or less admitted to killing his coworker, Carrie Harris.
As a detective, you see killers all the time. You try not to pass judgment, but he did kill somebody.
Although during his confession, Craig blames the murder on an alter ego he calls Frank.
He's tender. I don't know how to be done. He stabbed her with a knife. A silver blade.
Craig says that Frank is just a part of him, that he doesn't know how he works, just that he's another part of Craig.
It was like I was just It was like I was a puppet on the string. You know, it's like I couldn't.
It sounds crazy, but could it be true?
I thought he possibly had split personalities.
Or is Craig's story about Frank simply supposed to sound crazy?
Craig's supposed mental health issues were partly why he got away with killing the ex-girlfriend over 20 years ago.
Craig had some mental health issues, and because of that, Craig was given a significantly reduced sentence. And it was our belief that having committed that crime, having used that defense before, upon killing Carrie, Craig immediately started thinking insanity and immediately started crafting his defense, which is why he started talking about Frank.
At the end of the interview, Craig is booked on murder charges, an outcome that leaves many of his coworkers in disbelief.
They was devastated once they heard all that.
People liked him. Craig carried himself as a nice person.
But as Craig's coworkers and Carrie's family soon learned, it was all a facade.
This guy, in 1990, he took his ex-girlfriend and beat her to death with a hammer.
When I found out about Craig's past, everything clicked for me. I mean, he was like this crazy predator. He should have never been able to see the light of day again from that situation.
It was like they was given an opportunity to commit more crimes.
As the prosecutors predicted, Craig enters an insanity plea when the case goes to trial.
He did his best to look the part inside the courtroom.
He's just sitting there with his head down, rocking back and forth, making noises. It was unbelievable. Not one time did any coworker said they saw Craig sitting at his desk with his head down, rocking back and forth, making noises.
He calculated this out, and he had a plan on how he could get away with it again.
We were determined that he was not going to get away with murder the second time.
In their opening statement, the prosecution portrays Craig as a desperate man who knew he was about to be unmasked.
There is security footage from the business that shows Craig following Carrie. He is immediately aware that the camera has been found.
This causes Craig to panic.
The gig is up, so to speak.
According to the prosecutors, Craig had responded by carrying out the deadly attack on Carrie.
He saw an opportunity when Carrie was in her office and everybody was in a meeting.
He secured the murder weapon.
He got it from their office kitchen.
When he walked into that office, he intended to kill Carrie.
Her back was turned towards the door.
He stabbed her in the neck, right then and there.
And he fled the scene, fully understanding what he had done.
The defense counters by claiming Craig was not in his right mind when he attacked Carrie.
They say that he suffered from an intermittent psychosis, which basically says that when he was dealing with Carrie, he was in a wrong mindset and made him believe that Carrie was a bad person and she had to be eliminated immediately.
But the prosecution fires back, playing part of Craig's taped confession aloud in court.
I don't know if I'm making an excuse for what I'm doing. It's just my way of justifying that evil inside me. Just call it Frank.
Frank, from the beginning, we believe, was Craig being a manipulator.
When the jury returns with their verdict, they roundly reject Craig's insanity defense.
Craig was convicted.
He and Frank are serving life.
The outcome is little comfort to Carrie's family.
He took and stole a light that was there for the world, for good, for making things better for everybody.
Our sister's in the ground, but you still living, you still breathing. In my mind, he got away free.
And while nothing can bring back Carrie, her family hopes her story will save others from the same fate.
Corporations train your people, teach them the true definitions of what harassment is.
Don't be afraid to say, I'm concerned about this person. Don't be so concerned about how they're going to feel. Do something.
Do everything that you can to protect yourself and each other from the Craig Armsteads of the world.
Call the police. That's our job. You don't inconvenience us. We want that stalker, so he won't hurt nobody.
I know them, and you may know them too. There are truly remarkable individuals among us whose vibrant personalities can light up any room they enter. Their courage and magnetic presence evoke a range of emotions, from admiration to envy. This is also true for a young teen in the heart of North Little Rock, Arkansas, who has dreams of stardom fueled by her unique spirit and aspirations for a successful music career. However, a shadow falls over her story when she suddenly goes missing, leaving her family distressed as they hope for her safe return. What happens when love becomes fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Walking in Her Truth.
June 25th, 2020. It's a balmy Thursday morning in North Little Rock, Arkansas, a small city located just across the river from the state capital.
North Little Rock is across the river from Little Rock and has a population of about 65,000 people.
It's somewhat of a suburb of Little Rock, but with its own mayor and local government, its own entertainment district, its own school system.
At 9 a.m., while most of the city is still making their way into work, one North Little Rock couple is arriving at the police station.
That morning, the father and stepmother of a 17-year-old teenager, Brayla Stone, went to the local police department to report her missing.
Yeah, we haven't seen her since yesterday.
We've been trying to call, but she's not answering the phone.
Their daughter has not returned home from the previous night, and the parents are extremely concerned and worried.
It was unusual for her to be gone without getting in contact with anyone to let them know where she was.
No, she does stay out late sometimes, all right, but she always comes back home.
Do you know any friends in particular she might be hanging out with last night?
No.
Her parents weren't sure where she went after getting out of school, and they were terrified that something had happened to her.
Being in that situation where you cannot get in contact with your child, I would not wish that feeling upon anyone.
They had a bad feeling. They knew something was wrong.
17-year-old Brayla Stone was known for having a big personality.
Brayla always stood out. She had that larger-than-life persona.
Brayla would walk into a room and just light up the room.
Brayla was fearless, too.
When she was a teenager, Brayla came out as transgender.
She was assigned male at birth, but at a certain point, she realized this is not who I am.
While coming out wasn't easy, Brayla was determined to wear her difference boldly.
Growing up in the South, when you're an outsider, people can look at you a little different. But that didn't matter to Brayla.
She embraced her new identity, and it made her really happy that the way she looked on the outside now reflected the way she felt on the inside.
For Brayla, being trans was more than an outward expression of her gender identity. It was walking in her truth.
For a 17-year-old to do this, it shows that Brayla was a very courageous young woman.
And she remained courageous even in the face of adversity.
Not everyone accepted her transition. For certain people in her life, it was something they had a really hard time coming to terms with.
Even though she struggled for acceptance, Brayla never questioned her decision. She knew she was meant to live as a woman.
At the end of the day, though, Brayla was still a regular teenager.
She loved fashion, she loved hanging out with her friends, and she especially loved music.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Brayla.
She would be online, on all of social media. That was her big thing.
Her dream was to be a singer, and as she began to express herself more and more, and she built up her confidence, her audience grew along with her. Before you know it, she had over 5,000 followers.
She had plans to actually pursue her dreams as an artist.
Just like any other 17-year-old, she had big dreams. She wanted to see her name in lights.
But fame wasn't the only thing that Brayla was interested in.
Brayla wanted to experience life as any other teenager. She wanted a social life. She wanted a dating life.
Brayla had this desire to be in love, not as a trans woman, but as a woman.
Teenage years are challenging enough with trying to find your identity. And for a trans adolescent and teenager, it could be even more difficult.
When your gender is different from the sex that you were assigned, that's a lot for a 17-year-old to deal with.
There were some heartbreaks.
And in Brayla's case, it was even more rejection because there were so many sides to Brayla that people didn't understand.
But she refused to stop putting herself out there.
She went after what she wanted, and she believed she could have it, in spite of the rejection.
And when Brayla met fellow high school student Trayvon Miller, it seemed like she finally found someone who accepted her for who she really was.
Hey.
Hey.
I've been watching your videos.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you're really talented.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. What you?
There was something about Trayvon Miller that really hit hard with Brayla.
She and Trey had so much in common. They really bonded over their shared love for music.
Yeah, I actually make beats.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I make beats and...
Maybe you can make me some.
Yeah, I'll make you some, for sure.
This was one person that she felt like she could be herself around. She didn't have to have a facade.
He came from a tougher neighborhood and had a reputation for being a little bit of a bad boy.
He had some rough spots about him, but she accepted him, flaws and all.
In fact, in Brayla's eyes, Trey's rough past made him that much more appealing.
This was someone who had been misunderstood at times, just like she had been.
He was strong. He wasn't going to let anyone mess with her.
For her being in this society, being able to find someone that could protect her definitely becomes appealing.
Although she was only 17, she could see a future with her and Trayvon together.
But now, before her future can even begin, Brayla has mysteriously disappeared.
She doesn't come home, and the parents are extremely concerned and worried because it's just not like their daughter.
When the missing persons report is handed over to detectives, they waste no time trying to track Brayla down.
They started reaching out to all the hospitals and jails in the area.
They put out APBs.
Authorities throughout the entire Little Rock metro area were notified.
Law enforcement even appeals to the community for help.
They do a press conference announcing her disappearance and asking for any information.
But when a tip finally comes in, it's the last thing anyone wants to hear.
On June 25th in Sherwood, Arkansas, there was a 911 call that came through.
There was a body found.
There is blood. It doesn't look good.
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
"17-year-old Brayla Stone was growing into a confident young trans woman with plans to take on the world.
Brayla loved life, and a lot of people love Brayla as well for her vibrant personality.
Brayla was into fashion, into music. She had big dreams.
She'd also been swept off her feet by a handsome classmate named Trayvon Miller.
It was love at first sight. She found someone who loved her for who she was, not for who she had to pretend to be.
Brayla had high hopes for the relationship.
She could see a future with her and Trayvon together.
But now, just hours after Brayla's parents reported her missing, a body has been discovered in the North Little Rock suburb of Sherwood, Arkansas.
On June 25th, 2:47 p.m., police get a call about an abandoned car that's left in an area near Sherwood.
Sherwood 911, what's the address emergency? I'm on the walking trail behind my house, and there's a car parked here.
It's a nice, quiet subdivision. So to see that abandoned car there was an issue for the neighbors.
But that's not what prompted this neighbor to call 911.
The caller said there was someone inside the vehicle who appeared to be experiencing some kind of emergency.
And there's a black woman in there. She's clumped down on the passenger side. There's blood in there, and she ain't moving. There is blood. It don't look good.
Police quickly respond to the scene.
What stood out the most for the detectives was an overwhelming smell of bleach.
It was almost sickening to the stomach.
The driver's side window was shattered, so they were able to get into the car to get a closer look at the victim.
It looked like the woman had been sitting on the driver's side and had slumped over into the passenger side.
From the appearance of the body, they knew right away she was not alive.
They also knew their victim was 17-year-old Brayla Stone.
She matched the description of Brayla.
The car was registered to Brayla's mother, and Brayla's ID was also found inside the vehicle.
There's no question how she died either.
They immediately knew that this wasn't a drug overdose or anything like that.
It didn't appear to be a random robbery either, since her purse was still there with nothing stolen.
It looked as if Brayla had been shot at close range.
The bullet actually went through her ear to the other side and outside of the vehicle.
Based on the trajectory of the bullet, whoever pulled the trigger must have been inside the car with her.
Whoever killed Brayla had to be in the passenger seat.
And they had tried hard to cover their tracks.
They start noticing discolored areas where it looks like blood had been wiped away.
The investigators suspected the killer poured bleach everywhere to get rid of the forensic evidence.
But the killer had missed something.
Investigators found a 9mm shell casing.
The discovery gave them a potential murder weapon to look for.
And outside the vehicle, investigators get another win.
They found a spot the killer must have missed when scrubbing the car down with bleach.
The killer made sure to clean the inside of the car as to not leave any forensic evidence, but there were a set of fingerprints left on the outside of the car.
There's no guarantee the prints belong to the killer, but detectives have them documented so they can find out for sure.
It was a long shot, but the police were not going to leave any stone unturned.
Back at the station, detectives now have the difficult job of informing Brayla's parents of their tragic discovery.
They had to bring her parents down to the police station so that they could identify Miss Brayla.
It's one of the worst things a parent would even want to hear.
This is going to be the left arm. Okay, with that forearm. Okay. This is the right forearm.
They were able to identify her body by a rose-shaped tattoo.
This is a homicide. That's what I believe. Okay.
Her parents couldn't imagine anyone wanting to get that close to hurting her in that kind of way.
Who would do this to Brayla? They had no clue.
For detectives, the lack of suspects is a frustrating start to their investigation.
They didn't know where to begin, and when the media picked up on the story, all of a sudden, they were under a microscope.
This particular case made not only local, but national headlines.
The fact that Brayla was trans attracted a lot of attention online.
The media automatically jumped on this.
Was it yet another hate crime?
It definitely put a heightened sense of we got to get this right when it comes to the police department.
And amid the flurry of online activity, a suspect will emerge.
Check this out.
They saw a social media post that made their jaws drop.
An individual said he had been paid $5,000 for the murder of Brayla Stone.
Prepare yourselves for more twists and turns that lie ahead. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
Detectives investigating the shooting death of 17-year-old Brayla Stone are struggling to figure out who would have wanted to kill the transgender teen.
They don't know who could have done this. They don't know how any of this could have happened.
But an early lead on social media may point them in the right direction.
Someone made a post saying they had been paid $5,000 to kill Brayla.
The Instagram account was named Tapping Season.
A transgender woman with a bounty over her head? Now that's something that the investigators wanted to look further into.
Digging deeper, detectives realize that the account has made multiple posts about Brayla.
Maybe it was a social media follower, maybe it was a classmate, but there was no name on the profile or any indication of who it belonged to.
The police wanted to know who is behind these posts.
This led officers to secure a warrant for Instagram to turn over all of the information from this particular account.
When the results come in, they give detectives a name.
The account belonged to someone named Toby King.
Detectives were also able to pin Toby King's location in a rural area on the outskirts of Little Rock called Wrightsville.
On June 27th, 2 days after Brayla's murder, police pick up 18-year-old Toby King and bring him in for questioning.
Toby denies knowing Brayla. He denies even being a part of that Tapping Season account.
Tell us about Tapping Season.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, we know that isn't true.
The detectives bring in all the evidence of him actually being the person to make these posts.
We have receipts, Toby.
Every post from that account comes back to your cell phone.
Faced with the facts, Toby has no choice but to change his story.
Okay. It was supposed to be a joke.
Toby told detectives he saw a news story about the murder online.
He just made the account to troll Brayla's supporters.
He created the post for attention.
A lot of kids on social media are looking for sensationalism. They're looking for that 15 minutes of fame, no matter what it could be.
You have this powerful tool in your hand, but unfortunately, some people still utilize those platforms for hate.
But is Toby telling the truth? Detectives push him for his whereabouts on the night of Brayla's murder.
I didn't go anywhere, I swear.
Toby told the police that he was at home with his parents.
And when detectives follow up, his story appears to check out.
Toby's parents said, yes, he was here with us all night Wednesday.
They also confirmed that there was absolutely no way Toby could have committed this murder because he could not drive to the location because he did not have a car, let alone a driver's license.
You're free to go.
He was not the killer.
After releasing Toby King, detectives feel like they're back at square one. Until they get a visit from a classmate of Brayla's named Veronica Tyler.
Thank you for coming in and talk to us. Do you have any information that can help us?
Brayla had actually gotten into quite a sticky situation recently.
Veronica told detectives about how Brayla had started dating Trayvon Miller.
This was the first time detectives had heard Trey's name.
She really liked him, and he liked her.
But Veronica says Brayla had some competition.
She wasn't the only one he was with.
Trey was cheating.
He had been messing with another girl named Regina.
According to Veronica, Brayla had found out about it just 3 days before she was killed.
She was really upset.
Brayla was heartbroken. This is now a love triangle.
A love triangle that had turned violent.
They had gotten into a physical altercation.
Punches were thrown.
Did it escalate to murder?
You'll never compare to me.
Stay with us as truth finally comes to light during this intriguing yet heart-wrenching story.
Detectives in North Little Rock, Arkansas have just learned that their murder victim, 17-year-old Brayla Stone, was part of a love triangle involving her boyfriend Trayvon Miller and another classmate named Regina Cook.
Brayla's friend Veronica told police the situation was really getting out of hand.
Brayla found out that Trey was seeing Regina. She knew that Trey was not being honest about it. So Brayla decided to confront Regina.
Hey, Regina! Brayla, don't. No. You need to leave my man alone. He's not your man.
They started arguing.
He wants a real woman.
And it became physical.
Brayla, no! Get off me! I don't want to see you wet up! You got to no! You'll never compare to me. Yeah, keep walking!
Eventually, Regina left, but the issue definitely wasn't resolved.
Thank you for the information.
To detectives, it sounds like the rivalry was a ticking time bomb.
Regina immediately became a person of interest. Did she kill Brayla to eliminate her competition?
That evening, police bring Regina in for questioning.
Anything you say can be used against you in court?
Regina makes it clear that she was definitely not a fan of Brayla, but she had nothing to do with the murder.
She even told the police that Brayla was the aggressor. She said that Brayla had been harassing her ever since she found out about her and Trey.
Then she texted me and was like, basically, she's gonna beat my ass.
Could Regina have killed Brayla because of the fight? These questions are now swirling. Investigators are wondering, was this a motive?
Based on Regina's body language, the detective thinks she's hiding something.
Detectives turned up the heat in questioning.
I don't believe you're being completely forthcoming, so I'm going to give it to you right now, point blank. You need to tell me everything.
Under pressure, Regina's story begins to shift.
Although Regina stood strong on not having anything to do with Brayla's murder, she did express a suspicion that her boyfriend, Trey, may have had something to do with the murder.
Regina explains that Trey was deeply insecure about his relationship with Brayla.
Trey considered himself to be straight, and he was worried what people might think if they found out he was dating a trans woman.
He said he didn't know that it was a boy and stuff like that. Well, I was like, well, you know, I wouldn't look at you any different.
Trey wanted to keep his and Brayla's love affair a secret.
He's trying to protect that bad boy image he's got.
But you can't. I mean,
he's got an image around here.
Everyone has secrets, and I mean, that was just his secret.
In the days leading up to Brayla's murder, Regina says that Trey seemed especially worried about his reputation.
He was calling her over and over. He seemed distraught about the whole situation.
I kept telling him, like, so what? There's a lot of people in Little Rock that's gay.
Trey was so worked up that Regina says she was concerned for his safety.
It's kind of like sound like suicidal, so.
What do you mean by that?
Like, his life is over, like, basically like his life is over. He's like, he don't know what he's gonna do.
Despite Trey's apprehension, Regina says Brayla was pushing for them to make things public.
Brayla wanted the truth of their relationship to come out so they could be like a normal couple.
Brayla was not standing for it. She said, why not tell the world, be yourself?
You need to man up, Trey. I'm tired of this.
Damn it, Brayla, you just don't understand.
She didn't want to be hidden away like she was something to be ashamed of. And she definitely didn't want Trey out there seeing other women.
Brayla had threatened to out him if Regina continued to be in the picture.
Why can't we just keep it in private?
He doesn't want to be outed. He doesn't want people to think that he's gay.
This could ruin your life in a teenager's mind.
Regina admits that Trey had become so desperate, he started contemplating the unthinkable.
What did he say exactly?
Like, you're going to have to handle her like, have her come to the house. And I'm thinking like, they was like, they gonna talk, or he was gonna talk out, like, talk to her.
Did he ever mention that he was going to kill her?
He probably did.
No problem, okay? It's now or never, okay?
Yeah, I would say he did.
Was it just something he was saying, or was it something that he was going to really follow through on?
I didn't think he was capable of thinking like that.
The detective isn't ready to take Regina's account at face value just yet. First, he asks her if she has an alibi for the night Brayla was killed.
She said she was with two friends that night and they would be able to corroborate her story.
Police contact Regina's friends, and her alibi checks out.
With Regina ruled out, detectives next decide to see if there's any truth to her pointing the finger at Trey for Brayla's murder.
They want to find out more about Trey.
And when they pull up his record, they make a shocking discovery.
Got something.
For an 18-year-old kid, Trey had a breathtaking criminal history.
His first crime stemmed when he was 14 years old.
He was charged with criminal murder.
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast.
North Little Rock detectives have just been told that their victim's boyfriend, Trayvon Miller, was doing all he could to keep their relationship under wraps.
When detectives sat down with Regina, she pointed the finger at Trey. She said he was ashamed of being in a relationship with a trans woman, and Brayla was threatening to expose him.
And now detectives have discovered this isn't the first time Trey has been accused of murder.
In April of 2016, Trey and one of his friends were arrested in connection to a very serious crime.
They made the decision to go and rob a young man that one of the boys was working with.
The robbery didn't go as planned.
Y'all got that weed for me, huh? You know we got it, bro.
They went and sat in the car of this young man to sell him weed.
I'm already going.
But they had no intention of actually making the sale.
Give me your money.
One of the young men shot the young boy in the neck.
Although Trey did not pull the trigger, he was involved in this crime as a juvenile.
The teenagers were arrested and charged with capital murder.
They were staring down life in prison, so Trey decided to cut a deal.
In exchange for his testimony, he was able to plead guilty for aggravated assault.
He was back on the streets in no time.
In comparing the two crimes, detectives noticed some shocking parallels.
That previous murder, the shooter is in the passenger seat, passenger turns, shoots the driver. Same scenario as with Brayla, and what's even more similar was the bleach.
Just like with Brayla's car, the prior victim's car was doused in bleach. It was a detail of the case that had never been released to the public.
The discovery has detectives more convinced than ever that Trey played a role in Brayla's death. But before they can bring him in for questioning, they receive an unexpected visit from a young woman named Riley Cobb and 2 of her family members.
When Riley heard what happened, she knew she needed to come forward.
Thank y'all for coming in.
Riley had been friends with Brayla for years, long before she transitioned, and still referred to Brayla as he or him.
Always been around him. Known him pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
Riley says that she had actually been with Brayla on June 23rd, a day before she had gone missing.
They were commiserating over the fact that Trey was cheating on her.
He acts like he's embarrassed to be seen with me.
He was calling about how he was the way that you was treating him.
About how he was treating him.
Just forget Trey. Let him and Regina have their thing.
No, I want to hear that from him.
They came up with a plan. Let's go and get the answers from Trey himself.
She and Brayla had actually gone to confront Trey about his involvement with this other young lady.
When they showed up, Riley says Trey tried to avoid them.
Trey!
I'm looking scared.
Trey did not want to discuss this with Brayla at the time.
But as Brayla continued to plead with him for a conversation, Riley says Trey seemed to soften.
All right, okay, calm down.
That's when Trey decided, you know what, Brayla, I'm going to answer all your questions.
Trayvon said he owed him a talk.
An arrangement was made for them to talk about it later that evening.
Come pick me up from my house at 11 p.m., okay? We'll talk then.
She thought finally she's going to get her answers to what is going on with this lover's triangle. Are you going to be with me? Are you going to be with Regina?
Riley says later that night, Brayla drove to Trey's house alone.
She talks to Brayla on the phone the whole time while she's waiting for him to show up.
He was outside his house waiting on him to come.
When Brayla saw Trey come towards the car, she said, I had to call you back. Here he comes.
I'll talk to you later.
Did he say Trayvon was getting in the car?
Yeah, and that's the end.
About what time was that?
Like around 11, 20 something.
But according to Riley, when she tried to call Brayla later that night, she couldn't get through.
She wanted to check on her friend, but Brayla wasn't answering.
Yeah, nothing was going through.
When you called, did it go straight to voicemail or did
it was ringing, but nothing.
She called over and over and over again, but Brayla never picked up.
I just never opened it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay with us as truth finally comes to light during this intriguing yet heart-wrenching story.
Detectives in North Little Rock, Arkansas, believe that Trayvon Miller murdered his 17-year-old girlfriend, Brayla Stone, after she threatened to expose their relationship.
Brayla was a transgender female, and Trey seemed to be afraid of how his relationship with her would be perceived if it got out.
Damn it, Brayla, you just don't understand.
He presented himself as a straight male and didn't want to be confronted with the fact that his sexuality may have been more complex than that.
Police were convinced Trey killed Brayla. They just needed proof.
Now a new witness has revealed that Brayla went to confront Trey over their relationship on the night she died.
That was the last time that anyone would hear from Brayla again.
It finally places Trey right in the car with Brayla.
It was more than enough to go and pick him up and have him charged with murder.
Arkansas police arrest Trey at his parents' house.
He was taken into custody without incident.
Tell us what happened, Trey. How did things go so bad?
Trey refused to talk. he declined to offer any answers.
Trey is no stranger to crime. He knew it's time to lawyer up, and that's exactly what he did.
I have nothing to say to y'all. Give me my attorney.
Without a confession, the investigators aren't sure if their case is strong enough to convince a jury.
Everything was circumstantial, so they got to work trying to fill in the gaps.
They got a warrant to go to his home where he lived with his parents.
A search of Trey's room provides investigators with the physical evidence they need.
Officers did not find any murder weapon, but they did find plenty of ammunition.
A 9mm case of ammunition was found
that fit the murder weapon.
And another key piece of evidence arrives when police receive a report from the crime lab.
At the crime scene, CSI had managed to pull a fresh set of prints from the hood of Brayla's car.
Trey's fingerprints come back as a match.
Charged with capital murder again, Trey now faces the possibility of the death penalty.
At this point, the detectives and the prosecutors thought they knew exactly what happened between him and Brayla.
Regina and Trey and Brayla had a lover's triangle that was coming to a head.
She was threatening that if Trey didn't cut things off with Regina, she would expose their relationship to the world.
Trey wanted to keep their love affair a secret.
He didn't want this side of himself put out into the world.
He's thinking in his mind that there's no way that he can be gay or no way that he can be dating a trans woman because that is completely unacceptable in Trey's world. So he begins to think about what can be done to prevent the outing to happen.
On the night of June 24th, 2020, Trey lured Brayla to his house under the guise of talking about their relationship.
Trey met her outside of his parents' house.
Let's take a ride.
Brayla is thinking that now is the time that she's going to get her answers.
But Trey had other plans in mind.
They drove to a secluded area where there's a walking trail.
They go to the walking trail, and that's when Trey's plan began to unfold.
Instead of talking, it appeared that things got way out of hand.
What's your deal? I want you to stop lying to everyone about us.
If you say something, I'll...
What?
Brayla threatens to tell people that he's dating a trans woman. And that's a trigger for Trey.
He went into a panic.
He felt that killing Brayla was his only way out.
In the middle of their argument, Trey drew his gun.
Whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Trey fired the shot, point blank range. The shot came out, splattered the blood on the window, shattered the window, killing Brayla instantly.
After that, Trey fled the scene.
Investigators believed he returned later that night with the bleach to try and wipe his fingerprints.
They also believed that he had moved Brayla's body around.
He moved her to clean inside of the vehicle.
But he couldn't stop the truth from coming out.
The prosecution had a slam dunk case against him. He was going down for this.
Realizing that there was no way that he would be able to get out of this. And with so much evidence and testimony, he made the decision to plea out.
He gets 50 years in prison.
Although the case is finally closed, the tragic loss of Brayla is still felt today.
Now we have to deal with families hurting.
No one wins. His penalty cannot bring back her life.
Brayla accepted herself, flaws and all, everything about her. Whereas Trey, he was living in fear.
Trey allowed his hidden identity to be the very thing that his downfall. The very thing that he was trying to protect is now being exposed to the whole world.
And Brayla's memory endures as a warning against the horrible dangers of hate and prejudice.
2020 and 2021 were the highest years on record for transgender deaths. Most of that was Black and Latina trans women.
That's just a sign that there's so much work that needs to be done to protect those individuals.
Transgender women have the right to be able to go through society with their hopes and dreams, just like any of us.
A determined young dad in San Antonio, fueled by ambition and overflowing with love, suddenly disappears, leaving his family in a state of panic amid the eerie silence. Was it a love triangle that spiraled out of control? Could it be a case of mistaken identity? Or is there a darker, lurking wolf hiding in sheep's clothing? What happens when love becomes fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Sister Act.
January 17th, 2010. It's Sunday morning in San Antonio, Texas, one of the state's oldest and largest cities.
We have a lot of history here. There's the Alamo, which I think most people around the world are familiar with.
It's a great place to live, great place to raise a family.
But that morning, while most families in the River City are going to church or enjoying a relaxing weekend, one family is gripped by panic.
We all went to the police station together to file a missing person report.
They were desperate to locate 26-year-old Sam Johnson Jr.
Samuel didn't contact my parents on their anniversary. That was so unlike Samuel.
I don't care where my kids are, they call mom and dad. That's been a constant for 26 years.
But it's been 4 days since anyone has seen or heard from Sam.
When I did not hear from my son, something was up.
Something's wrong.
Born in San Antonio, Sam Johnson Jr. was the kind of child any parent would be proud to have.
He had a book in his hand all the time. He started reading when he was 4.
Samuel was inquisitive. He was the type of kid that always wanted to know why something is the way it is.
He was also a caring big brother.
When the other kids came along, Sam, he just stepped in and he said, "Mom, what do you need me to do?"
He was my rock. He was the one I looked up to besides my father.
After high school, Sam worked several jobs to save up for college.
He wanted to be a lawyer. He would debate you on anything.
He was looking forward to school.
And he wasn't looking for love.
He was working and Erica would come into the store and he would help her out because he was working in customer service.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Casually, we started up a conversation and I noticed that he was really attractive. I could be, a little flirty, you know.
So, got any big plans for the New Year's?
Nah, I got nothing going on.
Well, how about we do nothing together? And he wrote his phone number down on the receipt.
20-year-old Erica Hinton called Sam later that day, and soon they were inseparable.
Samuel and Erica, man, that was a power couple. That relationship was awesome.
We were really best friends.
They even remained friends when the romance cooled.
When I met Sam, he was 19. I was going on 21, and we think we're grown and we think we know it all, and we don't know much about love.
Samuel and Erica were on and off a lot.
It was during one of those off periods that Sam met Vanessa Cameron.
He was working at Antioch Sports Center, and he met her there.
Hey, need a spotter?
Thanks, I got it.
Yeah.
Vanessa was beautiful. Tall, slender, athletic, very pretty.
And to everyone's surprise, she was soon very pregnant.
He told me about it, and that was one of those kind of serious brother-to-brother talks. And we were like, what are you gonna do? Are you serious about this? He was like, yeah, like, this is what I wanna do.
Vanessa gave birth to a son.
Having that child became his focus. It became his life.
Samuel as a father was absolutely amazing.
But their idyllic family life was soon marred by tragedy.
In April of 2009, there was a fire at the home that Vanessa shared with Sam.
Everyone was okay, but they lost everything.
Vanessa, Sam, and the baby rented a small apartment with Vanessa's sister, Susan Sutton, and her boyfriend, Daryl Collier.
That was a mess. How is that possible to have that many adults in a 2-bedroom apartment?
Money was as tight as the quarters.
He had just gotten a full-time job as a bus driver.
It was not enough, so he went and got another job.
As financial pressures mounted, Sam's relationship with Vanessa couldn't take the strain.
I told him straight up, I said, look, you can be a father without being around Vanessa.
Leaving his son with Vanessa, Sam made the tough decision to move in with his brother.
He still made sure that he was there for his son if his son needed anything.
And before long, Sam reconnected with his first love.
We decided we're gonna make this work.
It wasn't long after they reconnected that Erica had some big news for Sam.
I put a little package together, and so he came over and I give him the gift. He sees the pregnancy test and he smiles really big.
Yeah?
Yeah, are you happy?
Of course. Dang, babe. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Sam was living a life with a future. It seemed that he was happy and he was looking forward.
But now, Sam's family has reported him missing.
I knew something wasn't right.
His phone's going straight to voicemail.
After filing the missing persons report with the San Antonio police, the family spends the rest of the day searching for Sam.
We all got in the car and we went to look for him. We looked everywhere, and when we got back home, there was a card in the door.
I pulled that card quickly because my wife was 2 steps behind me.
What does it say?
It's a detective and his phone number.
I called and talked to the sergeant.
Yes, this is Sam Johnson Sr. I got your card from my door.
But it isn't good news.
I'm afraid that we found your son.
He had a look on his face like he had seen a ghost.
He's gone.
My mom fell to the floor yelling.
It was the most horrific moment of my life.
My parents have lost their firstborn.
Stay tuned as new discoveries come to light.
After his relationship with Vanessa Cameron fell apart, Sam Johnson Jr. took a step back and started over with his first love.
He was very excited that he had reconnected with Erica.
They had a new baby on the way.
He wanted to have a great relationship and have something just like our parents have.
But now, just hours after the family reported him missing, police have informed them that Sam is dead.
He's gone. And daughter and wife screamed. It was the most horrifying scream you could ever imagine.
I couldn't breathe. All we did was hug each other.
According to detectives, a local man had found Sam's body that morning in an East San Antonio cemetery.
The witness that found him actually thought he was sleeping in the cemetery. It wasn't until the witness gets closer and goes, "Oh my God, he's dead."
He had gunshot wounds. That was pretty obvious.
It's equally obvious he hadn't been shot in the cemetery.
There was no blood on the ground. There were no shell casings. There were no calls of shots being fired in that area.
The body was placed on the ground like in a delicate manner.
That's why the man who found him had initially thought Sam had been sleeping.
That's not the way we find our crime scenes. If you're gonna commit a murder, you're gonna drag it, roll it, throw it.
Homicide detectives initially had no idea who Sam was.
We did check his pockets to see if he had any identification on him, which he did not.
But they did have a way to find out.
In Texas, when you get your driver's license or state-issued ID card, they take your thumbprint. So we have the medical examiner send off a victim's thumbprint to see if we can't get a match.
The medical examiner was also able to provide some details about how Sam died.
He had been shot a total of 6 times.
There was a bullet wound here in the chin and into the chest. And she said, for this to be possible, I can tell you he was below the shooter.
Once detectives determined Sam's identity, they had attempted to contact the family.
No one was home, so we left a card in their front door asking them to please call the police department.
The family had been unable to locate Sam, but the police did.
It was the most horrific moment of my life to realize that my firstborn was no longer with me.
He's gone.
While giving the family time to collect themselves and make their way down to the station for formal statements, detectives are handed more potential evidence from Sam's murder.
Detective Bauer? As soon as Sam was reported missing, his vehicle is put into our system as missing.
It was discovered on the south side of San Antonio.
After transporting the car to the crime lab, police had discovered bloodstains in the trunk lining.
There was no blood anywhere other than in the trunk, and there were no shell casings and no bullet holes, so don't think that's our murder scene.
The car had been wiped down, so the detectives were unable to recover any fingerprints or DNA.
Which means that when Sam's family arrives at the station that evening, detectives are anxious to get any information they can give them.
We needed a starting off point. We were getting statements from the family members to find out where did they last see him and is he in any kind of trouble.
The entire family appears just as anxious to cooperate with the investigation.
They literally showed up in the homicide office with Sam Jr.'s fiancée, Erica.
Erica was pregnant with Sam's baby. They were really upset.
But even through her tears, Erica is determined to talk to the detectives.
When did you last see Sam?
On Wednesday.
She said he was at my house. He said he was leaving to go to Vanessa's house.
Who's Vanessa?
His ex-girlfriend. They have a child together. I distinctly remember telling her that if anything happened to Sam, that Vanessa was behind it.
I'm done with this.
Stay tuned for more of this enthralling story on the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Sam Johnson Jr.'s fiancée has just told detectives investigating his murder that she suspects his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, may have something to do with his death.
Like, she does have the capability of doing something so heinous as taking someone's life.
Sam's fiancée, Erica, also claimed that Vanessa had the opportunity to kill him too.
Erica revealed that Sam had been at her house and left to stop by Vanessa's to collect some money that she owed him on his way to work.
But Sam never showed up for his shift as a City of San Antonio bus driver.
The plan was for him to do his route and to come back, and that didn't happen.
So now we know the last person that saw Sam, well, possibly one of the last people that saw Sam, was Vanessa.
But had he gone to Vanessa's, as Erica claimed?
What did you do that day after Sam left?
I went to church. I sang in the choir.
And what makes you think that Vanessa would want to hurt Sam?
That's just the type of person she was.
She was very manipulative. If he didn't do exactly what she wanted, she would say, well, you're not gonna see baby Sam, because if she wasn't happy, he wasn't seeing his son.
Erica says that there was almost no limit to what Vanessa would do to dominate Sam.
Maybe a year or so before he was killed, they had been arguing and not getting along, and he locked himself in the bathroom because he was just trying to get away from all of the hostility, all of the name calling, just a tumultuous situation. And so she ended up calling the police.
She was claiming that he was in the bathroom and was going to kill himself. The police ended up at their home.
He ended up going into a mental facility for about a week.
It was while he was in the hospital for evaluation that he reconnected with Erica.
We would talk every day while he was there, and that's when I knew their time was winding down.
But Erica says that even after he and Vanessa broke up and he started seeing her again, he always tried to keep them separate.
I just remember telling Sam, like, how about we all just get together, have a conversation? And he always told me, no, that would never work.
As a matter of fact, he didn't even want her to know that we were engaged.
He didn't tell her?
No.
He was ecstatic about moving forward with Erica and everything like that, but he also was so reserved about, man, I don't know what Vanessa gonna do, man. If Vanessa find out, stuff is gonna really hit the fan.
But did that mean Vanessa was behind Sam's murder?
Erica thought that Vanessa was a very bad person and just knew that Vanessa had something to do with the murder.
It was almost presented like all of Sam's problems was because of her.
Or was Erica a little too quick to point the finger at Vanessa?
At that point, we knew that Erica's house was his last known location.
We'll be in touch.
They only had Erica's word that he had been heading to Vanessa's when he disappeared.
Still, after talking to Erica and the family, detectives start looking into Vanessa's background.
The first thing we're going to do is run a name through our databases to see if this person has any kind of criminal history.
She didn't have any record that would lead me to believe she was a murderer.
That's also the impression detectives get when they contact Vanessa and ask her to come in for an interview.
Vanessa came in without hesitation. She was very cooperative and said she wanted to be as helpful as possible.
I have to read your rights. It's just procedure. I need to do that. Is that okay with you? That's fine.
The formalities out of the way, it quickly becomes apparent that Vanessa couldn't have killed Sam.
She was out of town.
She said she had been gone all week visiting a friend.
And where does she live?
She was hundreds of miles away.
According to Vanessa, she'd left on Tuesday the 12th. the day before Sam went missing.
How'd you get to the airport?
He drove me.
Sam took you to the airport?
She says she didn't know for sure that Sam was missing until she came back. But she had a feeling something was up.
Me and Sam text every day. We talk every day. And so I started getting concerned.
Okay, no text or phone calls?
Nothing.
Okay.
Vanessa also says that as soon as she heard that Sam was dead, she knew who was behind it.
She told me to look at Erica.
I mean, we have to put it out there. I think she had something to do with this.
Vanessa told detectives that Sam was leaving Erica.
She said their relationship was toxic.
I think that she is obsessed with Sam.
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast. You won't want to miss what happens next.
Sam Johnson Jr.'s ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, has just told homicide detectives that she suspects he may have been murdered by his fiancée, Erica Hinton.
Here they were, pointing the finger at each other.
What makes you think that Erica had something to do with this?
Too strange. It's like she wants a relationship with him, and then now she's saying that she is his fiancée.
Vanessa says that if it's true, and they are engaged, Erica probably tricked Sam into it.
I believe that she told him she was pregnant.
She also believes that Sam may have been having second thoughts.
He asked me for $340.
Okay, when did he ask you for $340?
On the 13th. On the 13th.
She said Sam had texted her while she was in Mississippi.
He told me the $340 was for an apartment.
She said that he told her he needed to borrow the money so he could move out of his brother's place.
Only now, Vanessa's convinced the $340 was for something else.
Today I went and there's a women's choice or whatever across the street from his work. I went over there and it's exactly $340 for an abortion. Exactly $340.
Okay. And so you think it was for Erica?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you give him this money since you were in Mississippi?
I told him to go get it from Sue.
Sue is Vanessa's sister, Susan Sutton.
Susan and her boyfriend, Darrell Collier, live with Vanessa.
Do you know when he went over there?
On Wednesday.
Which means that Sam had gone to Vanessa's as Erica claimed. But did Erica know why?
Maybe Sam had been planning to wait until after he had the money to approach Erica about having an abortion.
He told her he didn't want that baby. I truly believe that.
According to Vanessa, that's why she thought Erica had killed him.
However, since Sam had met with Susan on the night he disappeared, detectives asked her to come in for an interview.
They needed to firm up the timeline leading up to when Sam had gone missing.
During the interview, Susan confirms that Sam did come by Vanessa's apartment that evening.
He came, he got the money, and then I went upstairs. I actually did not see him leave.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that he had left.
But detectives aren't entirely sure Vanessa's sister is telling them the whole truth.
Susan Sutton was no stranger to the San Antonio police.
Susan was a drug user, a drug addict, and she was always out on the streets.
Maybe Susan and her boyfriend killed Sam and then kept Vanessa's $340.
Or could there be even more to the story?
While that was happening, one of our undercover detectives came voluntarily into the office and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you and Detective Bauer." He said, "You guys need to know that last year, Vanessa and Susan contacted someone about killing Sam for some insurance money."
I've never had a detective come and tell me that he had information about somebody wanting to kill the person that I am now investigating as a victim.
When detectives speak to the informant Vanessa had allegedly approached, he is able to give them more details.
So you a gangbanger, and I was like, well, I used to do that, but I don't do that no more. And she's like, well, just like you can handle yourself, and if I was to call you, I will call you to handle somebody, I will pay you.
When she said to handle somebody, what did you take that to mean?
The way she was saying it, that she wanted somebody knocked off, killed.
He said several months went by and nothing was ever said about it again.
But was it possible the sisters had followed through on their plan?
Detective Bauer got on the phone and she started calling the insurance clearinghouse to find out if in fact there was a life insurance policy on Sam, and there was. It was $750,000. And Vanessa was listed as the beneficiary.
Turns out, it wasn't the first time Vanessa had cashed in on tragedy either.
We also discovered that several months prior, there had been a horrendous house fire at Vanessa's house, and they had received a little over $300,000. In addition to the year prior, a vehicle claim had been made for an arson, and they had received insurance money on that vehicle.
While the insurance payoffs are enough to convince detectives that Vanessa and her sister knew more about Sam's death than they were letting on, detectives are still a long way from making an arrest.
Detectives had a motive, but they didn't have any evidence to prove that Vanessa was behind the murder.
Until later that week, detectives catch a lucky break.
The homicide office received a phone call from a lady,
Detective Miller.
And she says, I have information on a murder.
She says, my daughter lives in Mississippi, and she is the best friend of Vanessa Cameron.
Her daughter was the friend that Vanessa was visiting when the murder occurred.
On January 13th, Vanessa told her friend that her sister, Susan Sutton, had just called her and said that Sam was dead.
Sam's body wouldn't be found until the 17th.
Stay tuned as new discoveries come to light.
A witness has told detectives investigating the murder of Sam Johnson Jr. that his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, knew he was dead on January the 13th.
That was 4 days before the police found his body in a San Antonio cemetery.
She clearly had advance information that he was dead.
According to her friend's mother, Vanessa spent the rest of her trip in Mississippi acting like it too.
Vanessa goes shopping and is getting her hair done. She's buying a black dress that she's telling these people that she's going to wear to the funeral.
When detectives follow up with Vanessa's friend Tamara in Mississippi, she confirms what her mother told police.
She says that Vanessa received a phone call saying that Sam had been beaten up by her sister and cousins, and that they went too far and that he was dead.
Although detectives doubt Vanessa's claim that Sam's death was some sort of accident.
They suspected the whole trip to Mississippi had been an excuse to be out of town when Sam was killed, to give herself an alibi.
She even has Sam drive her to the airport for her alibi. That is just so cold-hearted.
Once they're off the phone with Vanessa's friend in Mississippi, detectives ask Vanessa and her sister to come in for another interview.
The detectives had led them to believe it was a follow-up interview to flesh out the timeline of Sam's disappearance.
However, detectives split up the sisters and questioned them separately.
Detective Bauer and I always tag team if we have more than one suspect. We decided she would interview Vanessa and I would interview Susan.
It's only after Vanessa is in the interview room that Detective Bauer drops the pretense that she's just after routine information.
Did you kill Sam?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know who killed Sam?
No, I do not.
Okay.
So now we hit her up with your friend. Tamara has already told us that you received a call that he was beaten and then was killed.
I do know who killed Sam. Do you want to know who that is?
That's when Vanessa changed her story.
She admitted that she knew about the murder.
I'm not involved. I asked my sister.
Vanessa says she first learned about it when she called Susan from Mississippi.
I called Sue, and she said he fell. She just kept saying that he fell. She wasn't there. She told me she wasn't there. She said, I gave him the money and I went upstairs.
However, Vanessa said Susan eventually admitted that her boyfriend Daryl and his cousin Lakeisha Brown attacked Sam when he came over to pick up the money.
Got the money?
Yes, over here. You wanna?
340, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about right.
You said you hadn't counted?
Yeah, no.
He got hit in the head with a 2x4 or something like that.
Then, according to Vanessa, they put Sam in the trunk of his car, drove him outside the city.
I wasn't there.
I know.
We know you weren't there. We know you were in Mississippi.
If I'd have just been there.
Vanessa suggested that if she'd been there, she could have saved Sam's life.
While Vanessa is hanging her sister out to dry, Susan is down the hall, sticking to her story.
I texted Vanessa to let her know Sam's got his money. You know, I called her. She didn't answer her phone, which, you know, she was having a good time and stuff. But me and Vanessa, we talk off and on all the time. You know, so I called her to let her know he's got the money.
But after a short break, the interview takes a drastic turn.
Lisa had actually came back and hit Susan up with, your sister is over there spilling her guts to Kim, so you might as well tell me what you know.
You knew what was going to happen when he came home. When I hit her with, I know that you and your boyfriend killed Sam, she said, there's no way that my sister told you that.
But the detective kept pressing.
I thought she was the weak link in this whole crime.
And as it turned out, the detective was right.
She says, I love my sister, but she's evil, and she always has been.
She's been evil since we were little.
I really felt bad for her. You could tell she was very much influenced by Vanessa.
She's used to me every day of my life. Every day, I swear to you, she used to me.
That doesn't surprise me.
Vanessa exerted all kinds of control over Susan for Susan's entire life, telling Susan what to do all the time.
And according to Susan, that included killing Sam.
The original plan was for me to do it.
Stay tuned for more of this enthralling story on the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Susan Sutton has just told detectives that her sister, Vanessa Cameron, was behind the murder of Vanessa's ex-boyfriend, Sam Johnson Jr.
I know that.
Obviously, if Vanessa Cameron is in Mississippi, then we know that she's got to have somebody helping her.
What did she tell you she wanted you to do?
She wanted me to get a gun and shoot Sam.
Vanessa wanted her to be the fall person, to take responsibility for the murder because she had some mental issues.
But in the end, Susan was no killer.
When it comes time to commit the actual murder, she says she can't do it.
So Susan had turned to her boyfriend, Daryl Collier.
According to Susan, Daryl helps because he knows that she just isn't capable of carrying through a murder.
He loves me so much. I love him.
I know, and she knew that.
Susan says that Daryl had also recruited his cousin, Lakeisha Brown, to help.
Susan lures Sam over to the house, telling him she has money to give him.
Apparently, the cash for Sam was part of the little bit of money they had left from the payouts on the house fire that happened before they broke up.
Got that money?
Yes, right here. It should all be here. I haven't counted it. Did you want to?
340, right?
You don't think so?
Susan says that while they were talking, Lakeisha had slipped behind Sam.
He was struck when he wasn't looking with a 2x4.
And I just kind of lost it, so I went back upstairs.
Susan wants no part of the actual assault, kidnapping, or murder.
With Susan upstairs, Daryl and Lakeisha immobilized Sam.
Daryl handcuffs him, ties his legs with rope.
He was stuffed into the trunk of his own vehicle, and he was driven east of San Antonio.
Once there, they hauled Sam out of the trunk.
He is thrown on the ground, and that's when the gun comes out.
Whoa, man, please don't kill me. Oh, please don't kill me. Oh.
He begs for his life. He asks them not to do it.
Sorry.
And that's when he is shot 6 times.
From there, they loaded Sam's body back into the trunk of his car and returned to San Antonio to ditch the body.
Vanessa just said that he had to be found
To collect the insurance.
Susan's story gives detectives more than enough evidence against Vanessa.
She told it all.
But before making any arrests, detectives bring Daryl and Lakeisha in for questioning.
I couldn't believe they came in. I figured for sure they would have just run.
Although when detectives confront Daryl with what Susan already told them, he denies everything.
If you don't give me your story, all we can go with is what they have already told us.
Well, whatever they told you, that's what they told you.
Daryl knew to keep his mouth shut.
Lakeisha, on the other hand, was very talkative and very willing to tell me all about the role she played in this murder.
I hit him with a board, a small board. Okay.
But while she admits to hitting Sam, Lakeisha swears she didn't know Daryl was going to kill him.
She told me that all she knew is that Daryl told her, we're going to get Sam because he beats up Vanessa. And when I explained to her that they were going to get Sam for the insurance money, she seemed a little taken aback.
Are you serious? Yeah, I am. So they did all this to get the life insurance money? Yeah.
After Lakeisha confirms everything Susan told them, detectives sit back down with Vanessa.
They'd been holding her in the interrogation room this entire time.
Are you sure you want to stick with that story, or do you want to tell us what happened?
Ultimately, she admitted to detectives that it was her idea.
But she insists it wasn't about the money.
What was it about?
We just felt like it would be better. He caused so much heartache.
Once Vanessa's interview is over, detectives place her and her 3 conspirators under arrest.
Once the whole squad was brought in and charges were filed and they were arrested, it was kind of a relief.
Susan and Lakeisha both took plea arrangements with the DA's office.
But Daryl refused to cooperate.
He never answered any questions, never gave anything away.
Daryl's silence serves him well. When he goes on trial in October of 2013, he's acquitted of all charges.
In Texas, you can't convict someone of murder just based on co-defendant testimony.
Will Vanessa be as lucky?
She really played the part of someone who was grieving.
She also claimed that killing Sam had been Susan's idea.
But would it be enough to overcome the evidence against her?
She'd made incriminating statements to the police, and she stood to gain $750,000 from Sam's life insurance.
Right there, that screams motive.
The jury agrees.
They hand in their guilty verdict.
She got life in prison, and she's exactly where she needs to be.
Getting that life sentence, it was a bit of closure for me.
But in the end, Sam's two sons will never get the father they deserve.
One of them only has a couple years worth of memories of his father. The other one, he'll never get to even know him.
They will never know his touch. They will never know anything about their father except from us.
No child should have to endure life without their father.